There are things in life meant to be spoken, and then there are things meant to be kept in the quiet chambers of your heart. Not every battle needs an audience, not every blessing needs to be announced, and not every plan needs to be shared. There is power in secrecy, a strength in silence that the wise have long understood. Today I want to share with you 7 secrets you must keep to yourself, not out of fear, but out of wisdom. 1. Your dreams and visions. What God has placed in your heart is between you and Him. Not everyone will understand your calling, and some will try to talk you out of it. Joseph shared his dream, and his own brothers threw him into a pit. If you have a vision for your life, guard it like a treasure. Let your actions speak louder than your words. 2. Your personal struggles. Every person carries a burden, but not every burden should be displayed. When you suffer in silence, you develop endurance. When you trust God in your trials, He refines you. There is wisdom in seeking help, but there is also wisdom in knowing that some struggles are meant to be taken to God alone. 3. Your good deeds. The world teaches us to seek recognition, to show our kindness for the world to see. But the Word tells us, do not let your left hand know what your right hand is doing. True kindness does not need applause. Serve in the shadows, and let heaven be your witness. 4. Your future plans. It is good to have goals, to have dreams, but announcing them too soon can attract discouragement. Some will doubt you, others will envy you. Let your work be your voice. Let your success be your testimony. 5. Your deepest fears and weaknesses. The enemy looks for places where you are vulnerable. If you expose your weaknesses to the wrong people, they may use them against you. Take your fears to the one who can turn them into strength. Be careful with whom you entrust your struggles. 6. Your family matters. Every family has its struggles, but not every struggle should be shared. Honor those you love by keeping their faults private. Speak life over your family, not gossip. Pray for them, lift them up, but do not tear them down with careless words. 7. Your spiritual journey. Your walk with God is personal. It is not for the approval of men, nor should it be displayed for their applause. True faith is built in the secret place, in the moments when no one is watching. Seek Him in private, and He will reward you in ways the world cannot understand. Struggles are an inevitable part of life. Every person, no matter how successful or strong they appear, has faced battles that tested their faith, endurance, and resilience. But while struggles are universal, how we handle them makes all the difference. Some people choose to share their hardships with the world, seeking validation, sympathy, or advice. Others carry their burdens in silence, allowing the struggle to shape them without the noise of outside opinions. There is power in fighting battles privately, in enduring hardships without seeking an audience. The trials we face in silence often become the foundation of our greatest strength. In a world that thrives on attention, where social media encourages constant sharing of personal experiences, it is easy to believe that every struggle should be broadcasted. People post about their challenges, looking for support, encouragement, or even recognition for their suffering. But not every battle is meant to be made public. Some struggles are sacred, meant to be faced alone, because it is in solitude that true growth occurs. When you go through difficulties without the validation of others, you develop a deep, unshakable strength that cannot be easily broken. Hardships test our character in ways that comfort never can. When everything is going well, it is easy to feel strong, confident, and secure. But when adversity strikes, that is when the true measure of a person is revealed. Struggles force us to confront our fears, doubts, and weaknesses. They push us beyond our limits, showing us what we are truly capable of. And when we endure these hardships without constantly seeking reassurance from others, we cultivate a strength that is independent of external approval. There is something powerful about enduring in silence. It forces you to rely on yourself, to develop an inner resilience that is not swayed by the opinions or reactions of others. When you go through pain without announcing it to the world, you learn to trust yourself more. You become more in tune with your emotions, your faith, and your ability to overcome challenges. Instead of looking for others to lift you up, you find that strength within yourself. Not everyone will understand your struggles, and not everyone needs to. When you share your hardships with others, you open the door for opinions, judgments, and sometimes even discouragement. Some people may sympathize, but others may downplay your pain, compare it to their own struggles, or even use it against you. Not everyone who listens to your struggles is rooting for your success. Some may secretly take satisfaction in your suffering. That is why it is often better to fight your battles in silence, allowing the struggle to shape you without interference from outside voices. It strips away our illusions, revealing who we truly are. It forces us to dig deep, to find reserves of strength we never knew existed. When you endure without seeking constant validation, you allow yourself to fully experience the lesson hidden within the struggle. Every hardship carries wisdom, but that wisdom is often lost when we are too focused on gaining attention for our suffering. Silence allows us to reflect, to learn, and to grow without distractions. Enduring struggles privately also teaches discipline and perseverance. When you fight your battles without seeking immediate comfort from others, you learn to push through discomfort without needing external motivation. You become more self-reliant, more disciplined in your ability to handle adversity. Instead of breaking under pressure, you adapt. Instead of giving up when things get hard, you keep moving forward. This kind of mental and emotional strength cannot be developed if you constantly seek reassurance from others. There is also a deep sense of pride that comes from overcoming struggles on your own. When you look back at the hardships you endured and realize that you faced them with courage and resilience, it gives you a confidence that cannot be shaken. You no longer feel the need to prove yourself to others because you have already proven yourself to yourself. This kind of self-assurance is rare in a world that constantly seeks approval from others. But it is the kind of confidence that lasts, the kind that is built on real experience rather than external validation. This does not mean you should never seek help. There are times when sharing your struggles is necessary, when seeking support from trusted individuals is important. But there is a difference between seeking genuine guidance and simply broadcasting your pain for attention. The key is discernment, knowing which struggles should be shared and which should be kept between you and God, between you and your own inner strength. Some battles are meant to be fought alone because they are meant to transform you in ways that public attention never could. Silence in struggle is not a sign of weakness. It is a sign of strength. It is the ability to endure without needing to be seen. It is the quiet perseverance that builds warriors, that forges unbreakable spirits. The strongest people are not always the ones who cry out for help. Sometimes they are the ones who carry their burdens with quiet determination, who fight their battles in the unseen moments, who emerge victorious without ever having to prove anything to anyone. Struggles are sacred, and how you handle them determines the kind of strength you build. True generosity is pure, selfless, and untainted by the desire for recognition. In a world where people often showcase their good deeds for approval, the deepest and most meaningful acts of kindness are those done in private, without expectation of praise. Genuine service comes from the heart, not from a need to be seen. The beauty of kindness lies in its sincerity, in the willingness to help others simply because it is the right thing to do, not because it brings admiration or applause. When kindness is performed quietly, without the need for acknowledgement, it holds greater power. A kind deed that remains unseen is often more impactful than one that is publicized. Helping someone in need, offering a comforting word, or making a sacrifice for another person without telling the world about it preserves the purity of the act. It shifts the focus from self-glorification to genuine compassion. When kindness is performed solely for recognition, it loses its true value and becomes an act of self-interest rather than love. The greatest examples of true generosity are often hidden. Many of the most compassionate and giving individuals do not seek attention for their actions. They give because they understand the depth of human suffering, because they feel an internal calling to make a difference. They do not need an audience or validation. Their satisfaction comes from knowing they have helped someone, not from the approval of others. They understand that the purpose of kindness is to uplift others, not to elevate themselves. The most meaningful acts of kindness are often those that remain between the giver and the recipient. A meal provided to someone who is hungry, a financial gift given in secret, a listening ear offered to someone in distress. These moments of compassion hold an intrinsic beauty that is lost when they are turned into a performance. When kindness is done in private, it is free from the influence of pride. It is given from a place of love rather than a desire to be admired. Society often conditions people to seek external validation for their actions. Social media, awards, and public recognition can create the illusion that kindness must be displayed to be valuable, but true generosity does not need a stage. The most profound acts of kindness often go unnoticed by the world, but they are never unnoticed by those who receive them. A kind act performed in silence has the power to change a life, to restore hope, and to inspire goodness in others without the interference of ego. There is something sacred about private kindness. It allows the giver to experience the true essence of selflessness. It teaches humility, reminding us that the purpose of giving is not to receive something in return, but to make a difference in someone's life. When we give without expecting gratitude or recognition, we align ourselves with the deepest form of compassion. The focus shifts from ourselves to the needs of others, and that is where true kindness thrives. Generosity that seeks recognition often fades when the spotlight is gone. When people give only to be praised, their motivation is rooted in self-interest rather than true compassion. But those who give in secret continue to do so regardless of who is watching. Their kindness is not dependent on applause or appreciation. They do not need to be acknowledged because they understand that kindness is its own reward. Serving others without expecting praise also strengthens our character. It teaches us to find fulfillment in doing good rather than in being seen as good. It helps us develop a genuine love for others, one that is not influenced by public opinion. It removes the pressure to perform and allows kindness to flow naturally from the heart. In a world where many seek validation through their actions, choosing to serve quietly is an act of true strength and integrity. Private kindness also protects the dignity of those we help. Not everyone wants their struggles to be made public. When kindness is done quietly, it allows the recipient to receive help without feeling exposed or ashamed. It creates a space of trust and respect where the act of giving is focused solely on meeting the needs of another person rather than on making the giver look good. True kindness uplifts, encourages, and restores dignity. It does not seek to place the giver on a pedestal. It seeks to uplift the one in need. True generosity does not measure its worth by the number of people who witness it. It is not concerned with how much recognition it receives. It does not seek rewards, and it does not require an audience. The purest form of kindness is given freely, without expectation, without hesitation, and without the need to be seen. It is given because love compels it, because compassion demands it, and because the joy of serving others is greater than the temporary satisfaction of being praised. Personal goals are deeply connected to our dreams, ambitions, and growth. They are the blueprint for what we wish to achieve and the path we take to become the person we aspire to be. However, One of the biggest mistakes people make is sharing their goals too soon, before they have taken meaningful steps toward them. While it may seem natural to talk about aspirations with others, doing so can often invite unnecessary doubt, discouragement, or even sabotage. Keeping personal goals private allows focus, resilience, and determination to grow without interference. When goals are shared prematurely, they become vulnerable to external influences. People, even those with good intentions, often offer opinions, advice, or skepticism that can shake confidence. Some may question the feasibility of the goal, point out potential obstacles, or compare it to their own experiences. These words, even if meant as constructive feedback, can plant seeds of doubt that grow into hesitation and fear. Instead of moving forward with conviction, a person may start second-guessing themselves, wondering if they are truly capable of achieving what they set out to do. Not everyone will understand or support your vision. Some may dismiss your goals as unrealistic or too ambitious. Others, driven by envy or insecurity, may actively discourage you because your success could serve as a reminder of their own unfulfilled potential. The more you share, the more you expose your dreams to unnecessary criticism and negativity. Even well-meaning loved ones may try to steer you in a different direction based on their own fears and limitations. Keeping goals private protects them from these external forces, allowing you to nurture them without interference. Another danger of announcing personal goals too soon is the illusion of progress. When people talk about their aspirations, they often receive validation and praise just for stating their intentions. This premature recognition can create a false sense of accomplishment, making it feel as though progress has already been made, when in reality, nothing has changed. Studies have shown that publicly declaring goals can sometimes reduce motivation because the brain interprets the verbal commitment as action. Instead of taking tangible steps forward, a person may become comfortable in the idea of success rather than in the process of achieving it. Keeping goals private eliminates this illusion and ensures that energy is directed toward real action rather than words. Goals require discipline and consistency, and distractions can weaken commitment. Sharing plans with others opens the door to unnecessary discussions, debates, and opinions that can shift focus away from execution. Instead of spending time explaining, justifying, or defending a goal, that energy should be directed toward achieving it. Success does not come from talking about a plan, but from actively working toward it every single day. By maintaining privacy, individuals can stay committed without the added pressure of external expectations. Keeping personal goals private also allows for flexibility. When goals are announced publicly, there is often a subconscious pressure to stick to them exactly as stated, even if circumstances change. This can make it harder to adapt and refine the goal based on new information or experiences. However, when a goal remains personal, there is greater freedom to adjust, shift strategies, and make necessary improvements without the weight of outside opinions. Growth is a continuous process, and allowing space for evolution without external pressure leads to better long-term results. Letting results speak for themselves is far more powerful than announcing intentions. Success is best demonstrated through action and achievement rather than through word. When goals are achieved, people will naturally take notice, and there will be no need for explanations or justifications. The work and dedication will be evident through results. This approach builds credibility and inspires others in a more authentic way. Rather than seeking validation up front, focusing on quiet progress ensures that when success comes, it is undeniable. Some of the most successful individuals in history have practiced the art of silent progress. They work diligently behind the scenes, refining their craft, overcoming obstacles, and building something meaningful before ever revealing it to the world. Their success was not driven by external validation, but by an inner determination to accomplish what they set out to do. This principle applies to any goal, whether personal, professional, or creative. True progress happens in the quiet moments, away from the noise of public opinion. Privacy also fosters inner confidence. When goals are kept personal, there is no need to seek approval or reassurance from others. The drive to succeed comes from within rather than from external affirmation. This internal motivation is far more sustainable and powerful than any validation from outside sources. It creates a sense of ownership and responsibility over one's journey, making success feel even more meaningful when it is finally achieved. The journey toward any meaningful goal is often filled with challenges, setbacks, and moments of doubt. When goals are kept private, these difficulties can be faced with a clear mind, without the added pressure of performing for an audience. There is freedom to fail, learn, and try again without fear of judgment. Growth happens in the struggle, and that struggle is best endured in solitude. Those who are able to persist through difficulties without seeking immediate validation develop resilience that ultimately sets them apart. Success is built in silence and revealed in results. Keeping personal goals private ensures that they are protected from doubt, distraction, and unnecessary external influence. It allows individuals to focus entirely on the process, to build discipline, and to stay committed without the pressure of outside expectation. Progress is best made when it is driven by personal dedication rather than by the need for recognition. The most powerful achievements are those that emerge from quiet, consistent effort, proving that true success does not need to be announced. It speaks for itself. Faith is one of the most intimate aspects of human existence. It is a deeply personal relationship between the soul and God, shaped by individual experiences, struggles, and revelations. While it is natural to seek guidance and fellowship with others on the spiritual journey, the foundation of faith should remain personal and sacred. True belief is not about seeking approval, validation, or recognition from others. It is about nurturing a connection with God that is authentic, unwavering, and independent of external influences. The spiritual journey is different for every person. Each individual comes to faith through unique circumstances, personal trials, and divine encounters. No two paths are the same, and there is no single formula for how faith should look or develop. This is why it is crucial to guard one's spiritual journey from the pressures of societal expectations or the opinions of others. The depth of one's belief is not determined by outward displays of religiosity, but by the sincerity of the heart. Faith is not meant to be a performance. It is meant to be a relationship. Many people feel the need to prove their faith to others, whether through public declarations, visible religious practices, or conformity to certain standards set by their community. However, faith should not be about impressing people. It should be about drawing closer to God. Seeking approval from others can lead to a faith that is performative rather than genuine, where actions are motivated by the desire to be seen as righteous rather than by a true longing to walk with God. When faith is rooted in external validation, it becomes fragile and easily shaken by criticism, doubt, or societal pressure. But when faith is personal and deeply nurtured, it remains strong even in the face of adversity. God sees the heart. He knows the sincerity of one's devotion, the struggles faced, and the prayers whispered in silence. A relationship with God is not defined by how many people acknowledge it, but by the depth of trust, love, and obedience that exists in the unseen moments. Some of the most powerful moments of faith happen in solitude, when a person cries out in prayer, seeks wisdom through Scripture, or experiences divine comfort in times of hardship. These moments are sacred and do not require an audience. Spiritual growth often requires seasons of isolation. There are times when God calls individuals to seek Him privately, away from distractions and external voices. This is where transformation happens, where faith is tested and strengthened. The greatest spiritual breakthroughs often occur in quiet, personal moments, not in public displays. When faith is nurtured privately, it becomes unshakable because it is not dependent on the approval of others, but on a real and personal connection with God. There is also great danger in allowing others to dictate one's spiritual journey. Every person has their own interpretation of faith, their own traditions, and their own beliefs about what is right or wrong. While learning from others can be valuable, blindly following the expectations of people can lead to a faith that is based on human approval rather than divine truth. True spirituality requires discernment, a willingness to listen to God above all else, and the courage to walk the path He has set, even if it looks different from what others expect. Faith is not about comparison. It is easy to look at others and feel either superior or inadequate based on how one's spiritual life appears in relation to theirs. But faith is not a competition. It is not measured by how many religious activities a person participates in or how eloquently they can speak about God. True faith is measured by the condition of the heart, by the way a person lives in obedience and trust, and by their ability to love God and others with sincerity. When spirituality is made into a public spectacle, it becomes more about perception than about genuine connection with God. Jesus himself emphasized the importance of private devotion. He warned against performing acts of righteousness for the sake of being seen by others, urging his followers to pray in secret, to give without seeking recognition, and to serve without expectation of praise. This principle remains true today. Faith is most powerful when it is lived out quietly, with sincerity and humility. The most profound spiritual growth happens not in the public eye, but in the quiet places of the soul, where God speaks and transforms the heart. There is also a peace that comes with keeping faith personal. When spirituality is focused on a personal relationship with God rather than on meeting external expectations, there is freedom from the pressure to prove or defend one's beliefs. There is no need to seek validation from others or to worry about whether one's faith measures up to someone else's standards. Instead, there is a quiet confidence that comes from knowing that God understands, sees, and accepts the heart exactly as it is. Faith is a journey that lasts a lifetime. It is filled with ups and downs, moments of doubt, and moments of deep conviction. Through it all, the most important thing is to keep the focus on God, rather than on the opinions of people. A strong faith is one that is nurtured in private, built on personal experiences, and rooted in a deep, abiding trust in God. It does not seek recognition, nor does it need approval. True faith is content in knowing that the relationship with God is real, unshaken by the need to be acknowledged by others. My friends, wisdom is not just in what we say, but also in what we keep to ourselves. The greatest lessons of life are often learned in silence. Let us be mindful of what we share, and let our hearts be a sanctuary where the most precious things remain protected. May God bless you and give you discernment in all you do.